I started my journey a few hundred years ago by speaking with some people who lived in an old house in New Jersey. I didn't know these people, nor did I know anything about them, but I've always had this uncanny gift for gab, and this seemed as good a place to start as any. The family's name was Kovenschlagen, Ed and Barbara Kovenschlagen to be exact. Unfortunately, the Kovenschlagens were not in attendance, but I did speak with a woman who worked with them around the house. Although a bit bewildered and confused, she invited me in. The woman's name was Maggie, and she worked for the Kovenschlagens for the better part of her life. She cooked the meals, cleaned the house, and executed a number of the additional chores involving the assorted animals around the farm, but she didn't want to go into detail while I was eating. After lunch, I decided that it was time to get down to the real nitty-gritty and ask her a little bit about the life on this place called Earth. What was it like? What were the common interests of the general masses? What was the key goal of simply being alive? She said that there really wasn't a key goal apart from cleaning the house, cooking the meals, and making sure that the animal she was milking was indeed a female. As far as the general masses were concerned, she had never actually seen them, much less knew what their interests were. I was beginning to get a bit discouraged when she allowed me to look through the rest of the house. She said that the Kovenschlagens wouldn't be home for quite a while and that I could basically have the run of the place, providing I didn't make a mess. After looking around a bit, I decided the best way to achieve any results was to determine what made people who they are. I don't mean physically speaking, like flesh and blood and that sort of thing. I was thinking more in terms of emotionally and psychologically. What are the elements that make someone who he or she is? From what I gather, everyone is basically different. Everyone has their own method of getting through the day. Then there are the varied everyday occurrences, setbacks, and conflicts that have to be dealt with and overcome. Problems with money, various forms of transportation, dealing with the environment and Project 15's never-ending maintenance and upkeep, and of course the pesky little nuisance called death. Many people are forced to resort to religion, exercise, and costly 12-step programs, but nonetheless they continue to muddle through. I decided the best thing for me to do was spend a bit of time here, see how everyone evolved over the years. Thus my quest began. It took a while, but as they say, patience is a virtue and good things come to those who wait. Plus, I had nothing particularly better to do. From the beginning, I kept a journal to keep track of where I've been and who I've met. Then I would mark down exactly how the people and places would change throughout history. Since the dawn of time, generations have come and gone, each asking the same whos, whats, wheres, and whys of those who came before them. But still, they all seem to be just as puzzled and confused as I am. Neither the innocence of youth nor the wisdom of age can answer the infinite question. Maybe we're just not wording it right. After leaving the Kovenschlagen house, the next moment of importance in my seemingly endless journey was when I met a boy named George. George was a relatively normal boy with a slightly perverse and sadistic desire to chop down trees with an axe. Although he knew full well that what he did was wrong, he took a great deal of pride in his work. That was until his father caught him in the act. George was lost for words, but after his father yelled at him continuously, he planned his story out in his head. He went on to tell his father that it was not him at all, but in fact a pack of wild beavers that caused the tree to fall. Realizing that his story was not going to hold water, he quickly tried to rebuild the dam and come clean. He looked up at his father and said, "I cannot tell a lie. I chopped down the cherry tree." George was then punished for a great deal of his childhood, but would use his time to perfect the art of manipulation. He would later become the first president of the United States of America, and his unique talent for creative ethics would become a tradition in politics from that point on. You see, I have seen both the happiest and the saddest moments that the world has faced, and I've met millions of people along the way. The only problem is I still haven't answered any of my questions. I soon decided to start from scratch and get a feel of things from a different point of view. So, I talked to the animals.